The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs. They've got the strategies like we talked about in the last segment. We'll call 800-306-1990. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the markets today. S&P 500 now up 2.77. Not saying a whole lot. It's not doing much of anything right there. 10-year Treasury down 7 basis points, 2.917. Yes, we do have an inverted yield curve. Means recession's on the way. Mortgage-backed securities are up 19 basis points, which means interest rates are down ever so slightly. And OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. OBMMI tells us that yesterday interest rates locked at 5.808. Again, that's based on 35% market share. 5.808. 10-year jumbos locked at 5.319. FHA 5.615. In my opinion, the best loan on the market for those who earned it. That's the 30-year VA loan, 5.354. 10-year the USDA loan, rural areas, 5.573 right now. Remember, for the USDA loan, I don't think you have any down payment on that one, so don't worry about that when you're looking at it. But the question becomes, why are all of these things happening? What's driving this market? Well, the NFIB, that's the Small Business Optimism Index, decreased again below expectations. The small business owners are not excited. Wonder why that would be. Well, a lot of it has to do with inflation. What's going on in inflation and what can we expect? Let me give you a couple of highlights from that NFIB report. Plans to hire fell by 7 points. Expectations on a better economy continued to fall to an all-time low of down 61%. Those that expect higher sales plunged to negative 28%. Those that said it's a good time to expand fell 3% to 6%. Those that plan to increase capital spending fell 2 points. Those that plan to increase inventories declined by 3 points to negative 2. Relief was seen on pricing. Every one of the items are negative in here from the small business owners. What are they looking at that we don't see? Maybe we do see it and nobody wants to talk about it. So I'm going to tell you about these things real quick right now. First off, people say we can't go into a recession when unemployment is so low. Au contraire, we've got a chart if you're watching us on Ron Siegel Radio or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed. We've got an unemployment rate when we go into a recession. Unemployment is always at the very bottom of the chart, the bottom of the range when we start into a recession. Right now we're at 3.6. Well, if things start getting bad, do you think people are going to hire more people or lay people off? Pretty obvious. They lay them off. So when that starts turning around, that's recession. That's when we get that. We've got the deals in the housing market falling through right now. We're at almost 15% of the houses fell out of escrow in the month of June. That's according to Redfin. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. And a chart that no one's going to show you. When will inflation peak? So people don't want to talk about this. How do you figure out what inflation is? You're looking at what the current month is. And that replaces last year's same month. So last year for the month of June, we're going to be coming out with the June of 2022 shortly. And they're going to be looking and saying, okay, is inflation flat or is inflation going up or inflation going down? The key will be, is inflation reported at 0.9 or more? That'll tell us inflation went up. If it's 0.9 or less, inflation went down. If it's 0.9, inflation will be called the same. It'll be called flat. Why? Because last year in June, inflation was at 0.9% for the month. I'm going to guess that, and they're predicting that it's going to go up by 0.2%. That means inflation is going to be reported at 1.1, maybe. But think about this. May at 1, June at 1 or 1.1, whatever that is. What do you think July is going to be? If it just stays the same at 1, and it replaces a 0.5, then it's going to say July was hotter than inflation is going up even more. What about August? Do you think we're going to drop all the way back to 0.3? That's what August was in 2021. If that goes to 1, We could be over 10% inflation just by replacing numbers if they stay flat. Just throw that out there for you. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990.